Recognize this place? This is Rockbridge Nature Preserve, and if you follow me on Facebook, you might remember that just days ago, I wrote a little article about this place and people going off trail and crossing over boundaries here. And just yesterday, when I was sitting down to begin doing research for the day, I came across a social media page that has several thousand followers, and they post several things about Ohio that people tag them in, and usually very beautiful scenic images. And one of them was here, and the people were clearly off the or crossing over boundaries and off the trail taking photos. So this upset me yet again, and I thought I'd just come out here and kind of walk you through the area and why it's important to stay on trails and why it's important to not cross these boundaries, because there's a good reason for it. So let me begin by showing you this sign here. And because of the glare, you probably can't read it, so I'll read it to you. It says, "Area at rest. Once a wonderful wildflower area, the hillside, creek banks, and rock ledges from the natural bridge to the Hocking River have been badly degraded over the past several years due to off-trail hikers. Please help restore the delicate plant ecology of this area by staying on the designated trail and not venturing past our barriers. Hiking off the designated trail is illegal. Anyone hiking anywhere off of the designated trail system, including the hillsides, creek banks, or in the creek itself, may be cited," and then it gives the codes for the laws that you would be breaking. So here's the interesting thing. Many people that do trespass, they typically have the mentality of, well, what's one or two people going to matter? You know, there's nobody around, and that's the thing. When you come out here, usually you're alone. The handful of times I've been out here over recent years, I come across one or two people. I actually came across one or two people coming in here today. That's about it. As of right now, I'm all alone. And chances are you're not going to see any state official out here either. So what's the difference, right? Well, as I said, here's the thing. You're not the only person that has that mentality or that idea. Imagine dozens of other visitors that has that same mentality. Well, one or two people turns into several dozen over the course of a year. Or in a more heavily trafficked area, say maybe somewhere in Hocking Hill State Park, people that go off the trail there probably number into the hundreds, or even maybe 1,000 or more per year. And you know, you may say again, what's the difference? Well, the signs are posted for safety, for your own safety, but also for the safety of the ecosystems in which you are visiting. So have a look here at this place, for example. The rock ledges and the cliffs, and I mean, yes, it's dangerous, but at the same time, this is a little ecosystem back in here, tucked away from traffic, foot traffic for most part, and vehicle traffic. So it kind of has its own field, its own plant, as I said, ecosystem. And by this sign here, the wildflowers that were once here don't grow anymore. You might see a couple here and there in the spring and summer, but compared to what it once was and what I've been told several years ago, the way it looked is completely different. So my question to you is this, wouldn't this place look much better if it had these beautiful wildflowers growing everywhere? Wouldn't it look more beautiful and pristine and special to have that, to have its ecosystem back intact? But if people keep trespassing and people keep letting the moment get them, and the sunlight maybe or the shadows get them, and they want to go off trail and take just the right picture at just the right angle at just the right moment, yes, it's going to be beautiful. But if more people do that and more people post that and see that, then it's going to encourage more people to trespass and more people to degrade this area and places like it. And it doesn't matter if it's here or, as I said, in Hocking Hill State Park, or it doesn't even have to be in Hocking County. It could be in Muskingum County or Licking County or Athens or anywhere in the state for that matter. There's a reason why signs are posted. As I said, it's for your safety or for the ecology or the ecological landscape in that vicinity. So just adhere, please, to these posts, to these signs and respect these areas, because it's not complicated. And that's the thing, is so many things that I discuss on this page, I always advocate for the documentation, the education, and the preservation of sites. So what I typically do is go out and document a place, or usually redocument it because it's been known before, or it's known but maybe not quite to the capacity that it should be. And then I educate the public as to why the place is important. And then if I can, and I've successfully begun the process of helping to preserve a couple places in my own county, which is great, and it's very rewarding. But at the same time, usually it's very difficult. But in this case, it's really not that difficult to preserve places like this. All that needs to be done is just people need to stay on the trails and not cross boundaries. And eventually, these places will return over time back to their natural state. And that's the thing too, is 20, 40, 50 years from now, if this continues, these places are not going to look like this. They're only going to get worse and degrade more. Whereas if we adhere to these laws and restrictions, then these places will be around for generations to come. But unfortunately, as I said, if not, then sometime in my lifetime, these places are going to look completely different than what they do now. And that would be a shame, but it would also impact the economic landscape of this area and wherever it may be. Whether, as I said, whether it's here in Hocking County or whatever county or town that you may live near. So just please adhere to signs and just respect the land, because we are all Ohioans, and if the tourists come here, or if you locally see somebody, please say something and be polite and tell them that they're trespassing or that they shouldn't be at that location. And if they get upset, well, at least you tried to do something to preserve a location.